What an episode, have and have not fans. This will be my video regarding my review of the mid-season finale. So strap in because I have a lot to say. The fact that this episode started off with Warlock was just fantastic. I mean, it just goes to show, and I might actually make a video on this about the topic of friends make the worst enemies. It's just amazing to see how much Warlock has evolved as a character from, the guy who had Candace's back. At first, you thought of him as, just Candace's mere, hired help, hired muscle. Then you found out they were good friends, and then Warlock took off that stocking cap, and now he's probably, it's debatable as to whether or not he's worse than Quincy. I mean, yeah, Quincy nearly beat her to death, and Warlock almost choked her to death, but at the same time, he's one bad dude. That's all I'm saying. So, John, you are playing one heck of a role right now. You really are owning up to Warlock and who he is. I mean, the fact that Candace got slapped again, I said this before, it really is hard for me to have any sympathy left for Candace, especially after you remember what she did to Aaliyah. Because, Warlock just gave her a backhand or a slap. Basically, it was a hard hand, put it that way. But that's nothing compared to what she did to Aaliyah, beating her down and whatnot. So that was ridiculous. So, again, Tinka Sumter, you are playing Candace's role to a T, but I have to say I don't have much sympathy for you. So please don't hate me. I love you. I love you. So, moving on, Erica came in, and I was wrong. And hey, I'm the guy that makes the theories. That means I'm not always right. I talked with my mom, and originally we had the theory of, Candace might double cross Erica, having Warlock think that she's her to take the fall when it comes to the money. But I'm glad to see that Erica, she really does seem like a good friend. Even though in this show it's hard to trust anybody, she does have Candace's best interest at heart, and that includes Quincy Jr. That's why she's like, look, my sister, he mutilated her. And it was cool to see that Erica, just like Maggie, and Warlock, where you have these characters who are pretty much, they make one or two appearances, and then the next day, they have a bigger role in the main story. So Tyler Perry, congrats, just, again, great job on that. That's a great job. I love seeing these secondary characters have bigger roles as the seasons and the episodes go on. So, again, just Erica pleading with Candace, don't let your ego get in the way. Your son is in danger if you bring him into that house. And I even made a video about, I actually recorded a video before this one, so I don't know which one I'm putting out first. So put it this way, I've already made a video regarding my thoughts on Quincy Jr., what might happen to him. So I'm not going to say anything in this video. It's in my predictions video, which I may post before or after the review. So just moving on to the fact that she has the papers for the mortgages of the house, Benny's house, and the tow yard. That moves on to the next subplot, but this episode had me going I loved every minute of it. It was fantastic. I will say this much. I might be jumping ahead of my thoughts. Where was Pearl at? You had Aaliyah pull up to Candace's house. Erica came up there. Warlock left the house. Veronica came. Jeffrey came. Hannah came. And at some point, Benny came. Michael came, the lawyer. Where was Pearl at? Was she taking a nap? Any other time, she's out there doing some yard work, questioning everybody coming in the house. I just counted off almost like 10 people right there who came in and out of the house, but Pearl was nowhere to be seen. Where were you, Pearl? Where were you, Pearl? Probably looked through the shades, but didn't want to say nothing because there was too many black people. Moving on. Now, just seeing Catherine Cryer in action was just Renee Lawless. Okay, let me put it this way. If there was a theme to this episode, I would have to say it would be called Mother Knows Best, because there were so many nods to motherhood. Catherine being concerned about her son Wyatt. We learned that Jennifer has, forgive me if I say the term wrong, I believe it was unfertilized eggs, because as Catherine said, oh, you're a woman who wanted to advance, you didn't want to slow down, so you have some eggs on ice, just in case. Then you had Candace being egotistical as a mother, while her mother wanted to do what's best for her grandchild. And then you have Veronica, which I'll get to later in this video, but again, her proving her superiority over her son. That was just, I don't know if that was supposed to be, then again, Tyler Perry wrote this, so it was on purpose. The theme, the episode had everybody hyped about who's going to get shot. But I felt like the theme of motherhood took prominence over everything else in this episode. So the scene between Catherine and Jennifer, I honestly don't know which scene was more powerful. The first scene where, Jennifer had Catherine taken out of the cell so they can have a one-on-one, and Catherine just stood her ground while sitting down and took her down. And no pun on words here. I'm just fascinated by the whole thing. The fact that she's like, hey, this is the stuff, my son as well as other young kids use to pass all these drug tests. To sum up the scene, I'll say this much. Jennifer was so shaken, she was crying. I don't know if she was crying because of the threats that she knew Catherine would fulfill, or the fact that she realized, oh my gosh, I made a terrible mistake. I could have cost this guy his life. Because here's my thing. Catherine, if Wyatt is, I don't know if Wyatt's dead. I might have to make a video on that. But then again, it's really not that. He could be dead. There's no pulse, no nothing. He could be dead, or like I said in my prediction video, just like Benny, he could be in some kind of coma to bring things around full circle. So Catherine would know how Hannah felt in that situation. If anything happens to Wyatt, let's say if he is dead or in some kind of coma, Jennifer's dead. That's it. Catherine made the promise. She's dead. I want to know what Catherine would do if she found out that Veronica was the reason that Wyatt got raped by Toxic in the prison, because Catherine said, just like when they were kids, when Amanda and Wyatt went to that church camp and one of them preached and messed around with them, he came back angry at her and Jim. He hated them. That led to the substance abuse, and the priest disappeared. She told Veronica this in the cell, and Veronica's like, let's change subjects, don't worry about it. That lets me know right now, if Catherine ever does find out, that's it. She's done. I can imagine, if she find out something happened to Wyatt, she goes to the jail to visit Jim, and then Jim's like, well, the only reason he lashed out was because he got raped by, Veronica had it done, which in turn leans back to him, because Catherine's like, get him out of jail. Jim's like, one more day. And if Jim had turned around and got Wyatt out of there, he wouldn't have got raped in the first place. So in any case, that scene was just fantastic. You could really feel that it was the Catherine we haven't seen since like season 1. Like, she was hardcore. You knew she meant business, and the fact that she did all that research to find out what Jennifer's unborn children were, so to speak, it just goes to show that she will do whatever it takes to protect her cubs, which is just amazing, because she told Jim, this mother is done back in season 3. So leading on to the next point, again, I'm just like so shaken just thinking, because there was so much to cover in this episode. I don't even know where to go to next. You had David visiting Jim in the cell. The scene with Jim, I don't know who's crazy. It's like you think Veronica's crazy, but Jim with the wig, I don't know how he got the wig, but he's up there just playing around with it. That was like one of the funniest scenes of the episode. The fact that he shows that it's like, Jim, if I get a phone call, if you harm a hair on my wife's head, and he picks up the wig, and even David points out like, you're in a jail cell playing for wig. How do you got power? That was just hilarious. I love that scene. And, David, I believe if he never got that phone call for Oscar, that would have been it. He would have been standing there the entire time waiting for a call about his wife. And, wow, Jim. That scene between those two was just incredible, because, again, it was like, David is like a quiet storm, Once he gets riled up, that's it. There's no telling. As I said again and again, and I'll keep saying it, him and Catherine are arguably the most dangerous characters on the show. Hands down, because you do not want to piss them off or cross them. Oscar comes in, gives him the information. David's off to Veronica's house. I don't know. He's most likely going to get there after the shooting occurs, but I made another video about, did Maggie get shot? Is she dead? I'm not going to talk about in this video. I talked about everything. All my thoughts about the shooting are in that video. So again, just like the Quincy Jr., I don't know if I'm posting that before or after this review, but it is done. Most likely he's going to go to the house, and the shooting is going to, be done with. We're going to find out, did Maggie get shot, who's dead, whatever the case may be. So Jim's left in the cell. But again, the fact that Jim is still in jail but is still causing mischief is just crazy, because when the banker comes over, after Candace goes over to the bank to, get the mortgages for everything, I think he said it was like $3.5 million. He goes to, again, it just amazed me that Jim could be locked up but still be causing mischief. He tells him, hey, let her have the $2 million, 48 hours, if not sooner. But hide the balloon of, if she doesn't pay back this money in 15 days, he's going to foreclose on everything, the houses and the tow company, and Candace is going to be screwed. And he wants the banker, Lloyd, to hide it so well that even Candace, to prove how smart she is, to see if she'll catch it or not. Oh, I mean, again, it was just crazy to think about that, because the fact that Benny knows nothing about this is just what's going to lead to more trouble, which leads to the next scene of Hannah coming over to the house, pushing Benny aside, finding Michael and the lawyer in there, and basically says, call off the lawsuit. You got the $7.4 million. Leave the criers alone. And then in the most powerful scene that I feel it rivals the Catherine and Jennifer scene, the fact that Hannah begged her daughter for Quincy Jr. And after, they had the slap fight, I'm done. Because it's one thing to, have somebody despise you, hate you, talk bad about you. But for even though your parents love you, if your parent says they give up on you, I'm done, that means you really screwed up. I mean, there's no telling. And then the fact that she's like, God told me to stop praying for you. Candace might not be a believer, but she's going to believe she's in some hot water, because this episode proved that she is officially screwed on all ends. Warlock wants the money in 2 days. It looks like she's going to get the $2 million in less than 2 days to pay off Warlock. But if she doesn't find out she needs to pay that $2 million back within 15 days, she's going to lose both the houses and the tow company, which is really going to piss Benny off, because he knew nothing about this. Number one, he said, you better not foreclose or, mortgage anything. The lawsuit's pretty much canceled. Like, it's done. Hannah's like, nope, you're not doing it. You took the money. You're not doing anything else. And if she does get Quincy Jr. and she loses the house and everything, child services might take the child away. That's it. Candace is screwed, which leads on to the next scene of Veronica. I don't know who's in more control. It's like Veronica really needs to have her comeuppance, but I'm like Landon now. I hate her so much that I like her, because she was so freaking devious in this episode. From going into the house, pouring his stuff on the floor, which uncovered the blood. It was just so... it was just so awesome. She just poured the water on the floor, and then seeing, was it poison? It's like, no, she's stupid enough to do it. And then when Candace kept saying, turn off the lights, Jeff's like, what? Turn off the lights. I thought it was Teddy Pendergrass up in there. Turn them off. I was waiting for him to come. Turn them off. Turn off the lights. But she poured stuff down and walked out. She wanted to show him something. And then the fact that after she left, they cut off the lights and saw the evidence on the floor, that just showed how in control Veronica is, or thinks she is. It's like, okay, you want to testify against me? You don't want to marry Melissa? You will. I'm just, wow. All I got to say is I can't wait until the next half of the season. I want to see what goes down. I'll say this much. Veronica's mother, I don't know if she's even going to make an appearance. I want her to, but it's been, 2 seasons now? We haven't seen her. She needs to show up. If I were a betting man, if I were to say if there was any character to shut Veronica down, my guess would be Catherine, when she finds out that she was the reason that Wyatt got raped in prison. And Veronica's comeuppance might come when somebody discovers, like, oh, she was the one to let Quincy out of jail. Remember, Catherine knew that. Maggie knew that, because Maggie was the one that set the entire thing up. So I don't know. Things are going to come around full circle at some point. But again, Veronica, Angela, you slayed it last night. You slayed it. And another thing about this episode, I didn't know if you noticed this. This is one of the first episodes in a while we've seen a lot of outside scenes. We got a lot of sunlight, because usually we were just seeing like the inside of offices, the inside of the jail. But we get to see the characters outside, running around. The episode seemed brighter, but there was a lot of dark stuff going on. So again, kudos to Tyler Perry and the production team, because that little stuff just makes or breaks an episode. Because again, you have the light theme of like, okay, Maggie and Veronica are outside, but then you got the dangers of the shooter inside. And then you have, Hannah and everybody coming into Candace's house, but then it's dark situation there. You have a body in the backyard. You got a lawsuit going on. You got Candace versus Hannah for Quincy Jr. And again, the episode was just great. So I'm trying to go back in my mind to make sure I didn't forget anything. So we got Warlock encountering Erica and Candace. Then you have David at the jail. Oscar telling David about, hey, here's where your wife lived. Veronica goes by Candace's house. She goes back to her house. Hannah going by Candace's house. And then, Lloyd the banker running around. It turns out, okay, I met with Candace. Then I went over to see Jim. Oh, man, my mind is just racing right now, because again, if Loving You was wrong, cast members and fans, I didn't mean to. I'm going to watch the episode tonight. Like, I'm recording all my have and have not videos now, but I'm going to watch the episode tonight or tomorrow. I get off at 4:45, meaning that I'm going to be fresh. I can watch If Loving You Is Wrong. No interruptions to make videos about that. But the haves and the have-nots last night was just so jam-packed. I could not handle 2 episodes back-to-back because it was just too much. I couldn't take it. But Jennifer, oh man, well, for her sake, if something happened to Wyatt, she's done. Because she knew that Catherine was not playing around. Because the fact that she was shaking when she left, the fact that she was so, hey, where's that Warren on his phone? Go look for him right now. She wants to make sure Wyatt is in one piece, because if something goes wrong, that's it. That's her ass. I mean, Catherine was straight up gangster. It's like, bitch, I will kill you. You will die in the street. I'm like, mercy to anybody who steps in her path. That's all I'm saying. I'm speechless. Again, I'm just speechless. The episode was so good. And then the fact that Quita pretty much spilled the beans, that's how Veronica knew everything, because Quita was the one that said, hey, I went over to Candace's, me and my friend, we went over to Candace's house and we found Quincy's phone covered in blood. Then your son was driving my car, and then we saw that the floor was bleached and whatnot. And that's how Veronica knew exactly where to pour that liquid at. I will say this much. In my prediction video from a couple nights ago, I did say that I'm mad that a lot of characters haven't been mentioned. I did say Melissa might be mentioned, and she was. So I'm glad to see Melissa was mentioned, meaning that in the second half of the season, we might see some Melissa. I don't know about Tony, though. The only way I can see Tony showing up is if Benny gets killed somehow, and then he gets the kidney. I would really hate for that to happen. That would kind of suck. So, as far as I know, because again, I've already recorded, before recording this particular video, if I post this video first, just know that I've recorded a video of my thoughts and predictions about Quincy Jr., as well as Maggie Day. Did she get shot? Was it a misfire? Those two are separate videos, because if I did not make those videos, the time on this video would probably be about 35 minutes. No exaggeration. So I'm going to bring this video to a close now. Let me know what you thought. Did you love the episode? I know I loved it. I loved it because the have and have nots, I woke up at 9 a.m. this morning. It was still trending on Twitter. That shows how much people love this episode. Do you think Wyatt is dead, or do you think he's passed out? Do you think Maggie got shot? What will happen with Quincy Jr.? Will Candace, put her ego aside, or will she bring him into the house, which might lead to something worse for him? Will Jennifer, be killed by Catherine? Will David make it to the house in time to find out who got shot, if anybody got shot? Will Oscar encounter Candace again? I don't know. And let's see. There's so many questions. Will Jeffrey give in and, go stay with Veronica due to the fact that he knows that Veronica knows about the killing? And where was Pearl? Where were you, Pearl? Seriously, Pearl. There was like 10 people that went in Candace's house. Where were you at? Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think of last night's episode? What theories do you think, I should do a video about? Hey, I make these videos, but what are your theories? Do you have theories that are different than mine? I really want to know, because that makes it a lot more exciting. Not like I'm talking to myself here. So to end this video, I will say this to all the cast members. Seriously, Tyler Perry, who I've heard nothing from, but I don't know. People tell me all the time, you never know. Tyler Perry might be looking at your videos. He might be looking at your blog. You don't know it. If you are Tyler Perry, thank you so much. Please reach out to me. It's been like 3 years I've been doing this. So I really like to, even if it's like a tweet that says, hey, I love the videos and blogs, keep it up, or just something like that would be enough for me. That would be worth more than the $7.4 million that Candace got from Jim. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit on that much. But in any case, if you're out there, if you're listening, I really like it. Like, just your thoughts on my stuff. I just want to know that I'm doing your work justice, because I'm trying the best I can to keep the hype alive for this show. You do a great job of that yourself. But again, I like being from the fans' perspective, I like to reach out to the other fans, keep the show hype even during hiatus. So Tyler Perry, if you're out there, hello. Let me know you're out there. But to the cast members, from Philip to, and I'm saying the real names, Philip, who plays Oscar / Brandon, Allison, who plays Maggie, Angela, who plays Veronica, Renee, who plays Catherine, Peter, who plays David, Gavin, who plays Jeffrey, Aaron, who plays Wyatt, Jacqueline, who plays Amanda. She's not on the show, but she is just a sweetheart. Every time I send her a tweet or a video or something, she either favors it or tweets me back. So again, I love you, Amanda. I wish you would come back. Please come back, because I miss you on the show. And I hope you're doing well too. Any other videos, projects, or whatnot, because I know you're married to the guy who voiced Hey Arnold. So both of y'all are awesome. Keep doing your thing. Wow, I lost my train of thought there. John Snyder, who plays Jim Cryer. I don't think I've personally had a tweet from Jim Cryer yet, but his John Snyder Studios, they were really good about tweeting me back and whatnot, giving me support. Let's see. Eva, who plays Celine. Crystal Fox, who plays Hannah. Tyler, who plays Benny. Jennifer's actress, whose name escapes me. Please forgive me. We tweeted each other last night. I am so horrible with names. Wait a minute. Let me jump on Twitter real quick. Is it Shari? Sherry? Sorry if I mispronounced it, Jennifer, but hey, I want to let you know I ate broccoli and I drank water tonight to make up for the hot wings and great soda from last night during the episode. To the actress who plays Pearl, the actor, I believe, Nicholas, who plays Justin, to the actor who plays Mitch. And again, I could be doing this for 30 plus minutes because the cast members are fantastic when it comes to, retweets, reading my blog, looking at my videos. I do appreciate the support. Even to the non-cast members, all the people on Twitter, Facebook who have supported my blog, my videos, because again, it was not an easy transition from blog to video because I was scared. I didn't know if my blog audience would go over to the videos. You all have ate it up, and it just pleased me to like the Facebook page, follow me on Twitter. It means a lot, really it does, because again, I don't make a thin dime from this. I'm just a fan who wants to put my thoughts out there, and you all deliver. So again, to the cast members, I do this for you as well as the fans. Keep doing what you're doing. I want to make a video on this, but Tyler Perry cast members, if you're out there, please put the Haves and the Have-Nots on DVD or Blu-ray. You're in season 4. You can at least put the first couple seasons out there. Please, 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 please. I really want it. I'm not the only one that don't. I mean, if you don't put it on the market, can you at least make a brother some DVDs? Come on now. And again, I just enjoyed the show from start to finish. And by finish, I mean to where we are right now. If this show runs on as long as House of Pain, I would love it. It would be great. So with that being said, let me bring this video to a close because I need to post this by the end of the night. I know you're all out there waiting for a video from me. So I'm going to post this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I love every single one of you, and I will see you all in the next video.